Hey, good morning, everybody. John here with FNP Wargamers. This is our FNP morning show, and we got a lot of stuff to cover today. We got a lot of stuff to cover, and I'm gonna try to get some links, especially for those of you that are on YouTube. I'm gonna try to get the links down in the description for some of the stuff, so you can go and review it yourself. And if you get a chance to head over to these people's Facebook pages, say, hey, John over at FNP Wargamers really liked your stuff, and he sent us to you for a review. And I don't know, man, scratch my back, I scratch your back, that sort of thing. All right, so what are we talking about today? Well, we're going to talk about Marvel Crisis Protocol. We're going to talk about Age of Sigmar, and of course, Warhammer 40,000 9th edition. And some of those have, there's a lot going on, guys. A lot has sprung up in the past week. So let's get into it. First, we're not going to dive too much into Sabertooth because right now we just have a panel to play. So we don't have too much description, stats and such for Sabertooth. But he is going to be coming out in November. That has been confirmed. He will be paired up with Wolverine. So if you're a fan of the X-Men, especially the classic 90s type of X-Men, then you are going to be set. So very much like Wolverine, Sabertooth is going to be highly aggressive in close combat. The big difference between him and Wolverine is speed. Is that where it looks like Wolverine is only moving a medium range, Sabertooth, his basic movement is double that. So he is moving at long range. He uses the long ruler, which is about 8 to 9 inches, or about 8 inches, I think. So, I mean, he covers a lot of distance really fast, especially on a 3x3 board. And then he has another ability that allows him to do more movement. And what this is every time he takes damage, it pretty much just pisses him off, excuse my French, but pisses him off, and he can move another, will move in a short range. This is about 2.5, maybe 3 inches, and that is unlimited. Does not matter how, it's not one simple activation right now. Every time he's hit, it makes him mad, and it moves him more forward. And that could be really good, or it could be pretty devastating, depending on what you look at. If you're far enough away, he's not going to be able to get to you, and so you'll be able to put down some massive amounts of damage onto him from long range. However, if he's forced to be moving towards whoever damaged him, and I'm going to double check that, then you could essentially kite him around. And by kiting, you could have one person shoot him from one direction, pulling him that way, and another person shooting him from a different direction and pulling him a different way, pretty much pulling him out of any sort of support range, kind of just keep pulling him around the board. That could end up being dangerous. I don't think it's a great ploy, but it's possible every once in a while you might be able to pull it off, and it might have some value to it. I'm not saying it will, but yeah, it says short range toward any attacker that causes him damage, and there's no limitations. So multiple attacks will pull him closer. So every time he's takes damage, he's going to move forward. He also heals, not as good as Wolverine, but he still does heal up once a turn. He's got some great close combat abilities where he's going to be able to get up to 8 or 10 dice and really dish out the punishment. Looks like some of his superpower will be able to get the Pierce ability. Now, I don't know if this is the Sabertooth post or pre-adamantium. He got some adamantium claws. I think he got something else adamantium wise. I don't think he has the full package like Wolverine, but he does have some adamantium now, and I think it's been like that for probably a decade. But I don't know exactly comic book wise where that is with this storyline. They don't mention I don't think they had mentioned adamantium claw. I did not see anything about adamantium claws, so I doubt they're I think this is pre Yeah, I would say it's probably pre-adamantium claws. So that's cool. So we know that now, coming up in November, that means we're going to be seeing a lot of product. That's probably, I'd say, 3 to 5 boxes. We know that there's going to be Magneto. And I think it's Magneto and Toad. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's Magneto and Toad. We're going to have Wolverine and Sabertooth. It will be Mystique and... oh, goodness. I believe it's Mystique and Beast. Yeah. And then Cyclops and Storm are all in the same box. I mean, in their own individual boxes. So it's going to be, 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. That's going to be very impressive. That's going to be a big release. So I hope all those stores are ready for it. All right. So, like I said, this is going to be short and sweet until we get a good glimpse. Probably this week, I would almost put money on it that we're going to actually be able to see Wolverine and Sabertooth's hero cards, so we can actually see what their stats are, how much they cost, and that sort of thing. So let's get into Games Workshop. This week's release is it's a pretty big release. It's pretty important, as we are going to be getting our first glimpse of the 9th edition codexes and how this new format's going to be going forward in relation to the new rules, the new keywords, new rules that incorporate every aspect of the game, including Crusade rules. All the new data sheets, see who the biggest winners and losers are, the new points adjustments that have gone up and down, everything that's been affecting all the rules, and see what the overall balance is. Because right now, going into 9th edition, there's a lot of people that are upset, understandably so, for the past year. I'd say for the past, can't say for a full year, but I would say time-wise, 6 months, maybe 6 full months of Space Marines being the dominant force. Maybe a little bit longer, but with the pandemic, there has not been a lot of testing of Space Marines in 2020. But there's an argument to say for this past year, since Space Marines dropped about this time last year, and we're in full swing. Okay, we could say a year. Space Marines have been dominating, whether it was Raven Guard or Iron Hands or some combination of all of those. We've seen Blood Angels actually do really well at one point. Ultramarines doing really well. So, but in general, Space Marines have largely dominated. Now, they have not been the top winning army everywhere, but they've been very consistent with about, I think it was around 15-16% advantage over other armies in win-loss ratios. Let me take a drink. So understandably, a lot of people that don't play Space Marines and just don't like Space Marines have not been too happy with them this past year. And plus, they continually get new models out, which is I can understand, it's very upsetting. Now it looks like, with the exception of maybe a lieutenant later on, or a model that will come out with the supplement, it looks like the end of the road for Space Marines getting models, at least probably until they come up with something incredibly wacky and crazy to come out later on. But that's neither here nor there. So this week we're going to see the release of, and I've got it pulled up here, yep. So the Necron and Space Marine Codex, yay! Plus their overly priced special editions, $80 to get a full color or full wraparound art and some fancy paper. Okay, I just don't think it's worth an extra $30. Speaking of, the Space Marine Codex and the Necron Codex, regardless of their size differences, and there's a size difference, are $50. So be ready. We've, in the past 15 years, I think we've gone up $15 for codexes. They used to be around $35. So here we are at $50. All right, so new data cards coming out for everybody. These are sitting, I believe, at $25. I'm not going to go through the prices of them all because you guys can easily go over to the Games Workshop site and see this. ATV comes out. The awesome Chaplain on bike. The Fire Strike turret, really cool. I've seen some funny conversions and some bad Photoshops, but very good ideas with these. So really cool. The limited edition dice. These are limited, guys. To if you're going to your local store, they're only going to, these dice right here, these chapter specific, there's only going to be one per store as of last week. That's the word that I got. So Necron's getting the same thing. They've got the Silent King, which we're going to take a look at the Silent King here in a moment. I've got his data sheet, kind of. I've got a screenshot of it, so I'm going to have to manipulate it off panel here, and we'll pull that up and enjoy that beauty. The new Locust Destroyer, Heavy Destroyers? Yeah, Locust Heavy Destroyers, the Canoptic Doomstalker, and of course the limited edition dice. I think this is limited to 2 or 3 per store, so if you really like them, better grab them. They're going to be $35 for a pack of 20. Yikes. Let's see here. There's all sorts of new stuff coming out. You guys can easily go take a look at this, but some new art prints. The new magazine Getting Started comes with a Necron Warrior and a Space Marine Assault Intercessor, new t-shirts and whatnot. So we're not going to go too much into that. So let's jump in before we get into the Codex reviews for Necrons and Space Marines for 9th edition. Let's talk about the massive, enormous news that's coming. So I said around the 17th or the 17th or the second or third week of October, we are going to be seeing the release of the Sons of Behemoth. And I might be pronouncing that wrong as usual. Still don't know yet, but Behemat, I believe, is the name. Now, this is probably one of the last of the armies that we know of, according to the General's Handbook that came out this year, that is going to be getting the newest armies. Now, a new one can come out later on, but I doubt it. I think we're going to be seeing more updates to the Age of Sigmar line, especially like Lizardmen, maybe Skaven, and a bit before we see a brand new army. So the Sons of Behemoth is going to be a massive army. Massive in model size, not in model count. We've talked about this before because you are playing giants and they are costly. We did see that each of these new giant types, you can field 3 of them, and I believe you could field point-wise in a 2,000 point Age of Sigmar army, which seems to be like the standard for a lot of play, whether it's tournament play or just friendly play. So it looks like you'll be able to field up to 5 giants, 3 of the new ones, 1 of each, because it looks like you're limited to 1 of each. Excuse me. And then 2 of the Ale Guzzlers. They might have a new name for them. We're going to find out here. Now, I'm not going to play the video, but you guys are more than welcome to. But it looks like this is going to be absolutely amazing. So, these guys are massive. I mean, the Ale Guzzlers or the old giants are around, they're close to 5 inches tall. These are almost double in height. So, these guys are going to be pushing 10 inches, I bet. Probably 8.5, maybe 9, 8.5 to 9.5, from bottom of the base to the tip of their highest point, like the horns on this guy. Okay, still, it's massive. It's absolutely bonkers, crazy massive. So you're going to be able to get all 3. The War Stomper, that's this one right here. Still don't know what he does. We've got the Kraken Eater, which I'm guessing is some sort of ranged combat because he has this amalgamation of cannons tied together, and looks like this might be like he might throw it like a catapult, I don't know, or a bolo. And then of course the Gate Breaker, which still I have no idea what he's going to do, but it looks like he's going to be, I wouldn't even be surprised if he is like a monster killer or a hero killer type thing, where the War Stomper is going to be great. I'm guessing probably for going balls to the wall, just annihilating units. He's probably going to be really geared towards doing lots of attacks and probably lower on the damage, where the Gatekeeper, my guess is that he's going to be dishing out massive amounts of damage, but not as many attacks. I could be wrong, but that's my take on it so far, based on the names, the aesthetic of the models. And then here we have the Little Giants. The Little Giants. They are, they're just calling them Gargants. Okay, so Man Crusher Gargants. So it looks like, now I don't know if they're going to be putting these in a box of 2 or it's going to be a box of 1. These do have multi-part plastic, and you're able to really customize these models. And I've seen some great other people's conversions outside of what the box provides. So you can get really crazy with these, especially with the size of the models. There's a lot of freedom that you have to really customize these guys. So that's not too bad, man. 5 big models. I mean, that's my ideal army. I would love to be able to play this army. And once I am employed, which I've got a couple interviews this week, so I'm actually looking forward to playing this army. I'm actually looking forward to be able to play Age of Sigmar finally, and a low model count army is really ideal for me because I don't have to worry too much about a lot of the new rule, or getting used to a new rule system when I'm only using a few models. I don't have to worry about probably magic. There's a lot I don't have to worry about, which is going to put me at a disadvantage, I know, but what do I care, right? What do I care? All right, so they're going to have their special edition book. I'm not going to get it, but hey, it's coming. There will be the regular edition book, of course, the ebooks, and the War Scroll cards. This will actually be my first time buying War Scroll cards. So this is kind of fun and exciting for me. So don't worry, all of you Warhammer 40,000 fans. This week's pre-orders is going to be covering multiple game systems, but Age of Sigmar being the big boy on the block right now, they deserve, I mean, all puns aside, they deserve being front and center. They are, man, absolutely bonkers crazy amazing. I'm super excited about these guys. All right, so let's take a look at what's coming up. So we do have the confirmation on the audio novel. Is it just a novel? It's a full audio drama. So that'll be fun to read. And still, Age of Sigmar players, if you guys remember the Ether, hey, good morning. Nam, you missed everything. I already talked about Sabertooth, but you already knew about Sabertooth. So if you remember the Aether War box that came out last year, the Caradon drawn Overlords and Disciples of Tzeentch got a named character each, and 6 to 9 months later, as usual, we got the characters individually. They're probably going to be $35. I'll have pricing later on today, so Wednesday's show. Warhammer 40,000 is still going to be rolling out models, so this is going to be a big week, guys. So Necrons, you got your warrior box, multi-part plastic warrior box. As far as I know, it's a multi-part plastic kit, which is probably just like the Indominus box. So you're going to get your dual weapons. Now, what I don't know, and I'm hoping to find out today, are the Scorpex destroyers, these guys right here on your screen, are they going to be an easy to build kit, or are they going to be a multi-part plastic kit? Don't know. I imagine they're going to be a multi-part plastic kit, and my guess is $50 to $60 for this box. I'm going to put it at $60. Like I said, I'll know today. And also the Hexmark Destroyer, the Pistolier guy that's just going to be just absolutely brutal for clearing objectives and taking out small fry, so to speak. He is just, God, man, this guy's going to be good. He's going to be good. I would almost say he is going to be a must-take. Almost be a must-take. Especially if you know who your opponents are. I think he's going to be great for clearing objectives. Maybe even character killing. Maybe. Then we also, and that's it, by the way. There's no other Space Marine releases. Now we still have a bunch of Space Marine releases, but just not right now. So we're gonna be this week. We're just gonna be rounding out the rest of the Necron. So Todd McFarlane toys. We talked about this before, their Necron Warrior and their Assault Intercessor and their Artist Proof Intercessor, like this one. The Artist Proof Intercessor, which actually arrived. I had ordered this months ago and finally arrived. He is a big boy. Let's see if I've got an Intercessor to put. Yeah, see the Intercessor in my one hand and the big one in the other. He's a big boy. I'm going to put him probably about 7 inches tall. And the Artist Proof just means that he's ready for me to paint my own chapter. So those are actually already rolling out. Now, it looks like they're going to be able to roll out from Games Workshop this week. Oh, it is 7 inches. So, yay. Middle Earth, you've got a bunch of extra models coming out for people from like Bree, the Prancing Pony and all that. I don't know how they're going to play in the game. They might just be for aesthetic purposes, but they're coming out. And of course, White Dwarf and the Lionel Johnson. Now, this is an important book because Lionel Johnson is heavily rumored to be the next Primarch to be released. A little bit of evidence or credence to go along with that, besides the fact that we know that he is alive, he is in stasis in the rock, which is the floating fortress of the Dark Angels. A little bit of it could be coincidence or it could be proof. We don't, depending on how you look at it. But missing from the initial supplement launch are the Dark Angels. So the supplements that are going to come out between now and 2020, the end of 2020, is Blood Angels, Death Watch, and Space Wolves. They're all going to be getting their own individual supplements and probably data cards and maybe some dice. But those are all coming. So why wasn't Dark Angels included? Probably because they're going to have a big model release. And I doubt we're going to see them until probably, May, April, March. So probably we're going to get the announcement at the beginning of the year. And we'll probably see him go on, if it does happen, go on pre-order sometime in February for a March release. So that'll help kick off their fourth quarter. And who knows what the end of the fourth quarter is going to bring for them. So really awesome stuff that's going on for Games Workshop and a lot of possibilities coming down the line for potential models. So we still have a lot of Necrons and still Space Marine releases that are going to be coming down the line. I think those are going to be near the end of the month. So we still have at least 2 vehicles for the Space Marines. We don't know when the Heavy Intercessor or the Assault... I think the Assault Intercessor is already out. I could be wrong. I think that's already out. But the Heavy Intercessor kit is not out. The new Eradicator box is not out. We have the new Repulsor vehicle and the new Land Speeder style vehicle, the new character, the captain, and of course all those amazing Necron models that are still not have hit the table. So speaking of, I'm going to recommend that you guys go over to, I'm going to leave it up there as I try to pull up that one file, that one screenshot, so you guys can, oh no, it's not working. I've got a screenshot I was trying to be able to pull up for you guys, but it looks like, yep, invalid value for registry. Son of a gun. Hey, good morning, Chili Con Queso. All right, so I'm going to recommend that you guys head over to Goonhammer, and I was talking about them a little bit ago, or in the beginning of the show. They have 2 very amazing reviews for the Space Marine Codex for 9th edition and the Necron Codex for 9th edition. So I've got both of them linked up here. And for those of you that are going to be on YouTube later, I will hit you guys up with links in the description once I get the video uploaded. I'll put it in the description. You guys can see it, though you're probably already seeing it now while I'm talking about it. You probably... So never mind about that. I'm still going to put the links in the description. So I just want you guys to go take a look at them. If you can, hit them up on Facebook. Say, hey, give them a like over on Goonhammer. It's just like it's spelled right there. If you want to send them a message saying, hey, man, John at FNP Wargamers sent us over here. Give a link to them or what. I don't care. But... we're all, it's a big community. We like to support each other, and I definitely like to support people, especially when they get preview copies. When we're still trying to get preview copies for anything from any company, but that's we're the little man on the block. So their reviews are really good, and one thing that seems to be consistent amongst all of the or a lot of the tournament players that I talk to, or I sit there and I eavesdrop. Well, not really eavesdropping on their conversations, and I'm a member of their chat group and everything. But there seems to be a nice consensus that okay, Space Marines look like they got kicked in the junk, and that they are going to be balanced. As of right now, they're looking relatively balanced. A lot of the things that were bad about them, or good, depending on your position, if you were playing against them or you were for them, a lot of those bad points have been adjusted in a way that's like, okay, that's better. That puts it in line with other armies who don't have these amazing abilities that nobody else has. So it looks like they are now in line, and a lot of the tweaks that they have done with how the characters are done, how their auras and special abilities apply, and even some of the key words and abilities that some of the vehicles had are just either just totally gone or reworked. So there's a lot of things that are going to be pretty much nipped in the butt. Some of the big things that I can at least talk to you about, mainly in the regards to those people that play those 2,000 point armies, or now the strike force level. A couple of the big things is you're not going to see multiple captains in one detachment. You're going to take multiple detachments to get multiple captains. So there's people that like to run 3 of the smash captains. Not going to happen, guys, unless you're running 3 detachments. And the more detachments that you run, the less effective your original list is going to be, because now you have a tax. And by tax, I mean, if now I have to run a separate detachment to get that smash captain, or those 2 smash captains from those 2 different detachments, I also have to fill in the basic slots for those detachment sizes. So let's say I get another battalion detachment. Well, now I've got to fill in 3 more troop choices. And speaking of troop choices, scouts, Space Marine scouts, are no longer troops. They are elites. And that's probably because with the Space Wolves being rolled into it, and a lot of the issues where people were just taking 5-man scout squads just to save points and basically min-max, which there's nothing wrong with min-maxing your tournament list, but min-maxing your list and just putting a bunch of scouts in just as they're just your tax. They're really inexpensive. That way you can focus the rest of your points on your more efficient army. But now you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to invest in a little bit more expensive models, almost double the price. So that, plus the fact that you can't multiple captain in a detachment, a basic battalion detachment anymore, is a big blow. Now, what you can do in that detachment is get 1 captain and 2 lieutenants. And that totally makes sense. Why would you have multiple captains and multiple lieutenants in a detachment? Whatever. There is one way around that, though, and you'll be able, you can actually read their article. I'm not going to steal their thunder, but you can make a chapter master to also be in that detachment. So it is possible, but now you're paying an additional 40-point tax to to include another Smash Captain. So it gets extremely expensive no matter how you do it. So it's one of the cool things that they went in, looked at all the results from mainly tournament play. This is finally tournament play is now finally getting the attention it needs, because that's where your reliable data is going to be coming from. That's where players that would try to break the game, not intentionally necessarily because they want to, break it for, just to cheese it up, but they find the efficiency and they use it and abuse it. And that's what they should have been using for playtesting this whole time. Go to your tournament players. Go to your tournament players. Not for everything, but dang. All right, so that's that. Now, there's a new tax on pretty much all the different types of Master's Chapter, like the Master of Sanctity, the Master of the Forge. Those all came out in, I believe it was Lost in the Damned. I could be wrong. It might have been Lost in the Damned. Or is it one before that? It was in one of the Psychic Awakenings from last year. And that included them that you had to spend command points, but you're no longer doing that. You're actually spending points. Some of the abilities have been rolled into these new Masters of the Chapter. Some of those abilities are no longer available. Maybe some of the relics are no longer available. But overall, the same feel, the same thing that you were really taking them for is essentially there, just a little muted. One of the biggest winners, though, is the Chief Apothecary. I'll let you read their article. I'm definitely not going to steal their thunder, but the Chief Apothecary might end up being one of those must-takes for, I think, depending on how you do your Apothecary. If you do a Primaris or a regular Apothecary, he's going to be worth that 15 points. I'll tell you right now, he's going to be worth that 15 points. So everything else, though, that like Chapter Champion actually might be worth taking as well. A lot of data sheet changes here and there, but nothing super major, just enough to go, oh, I can't pull that BS anymore. So I'm not going to go over this. Like I said, I don't want to steal their thunder. One thing I will say is repulsor vehicles no longer, or at least the impulsors, have lost the fly ability. Now, I don't know if that's also for the repulsors. I believe those two. I'll have to double check. I'm not going to go into it right now, but I believe that they lost the ability to fly as well. So no more of this flying your grav tank, putting them up on a building, which you can't do in this new edition really anyways, but you guys get the point. So Necrons I tell you what, I'm really happy with the way everything came out for them. Their rules are really solid, and a lot of those concerns that people had once they were announced, once we started getting sneak peeks at their rules, are pretty much unfounded. And it's the same story we see every time. It's like a new codex is announced, people get excited, and then they're like, "Oh no, this is horrible. This is going to be the worst thing ever. They're going to be worthless. Why am I going to even play this army? I'll just burn my army or sell them off or whatever." A lot of that has been alleviated especially once you get you read through this review. It looks like Necrons are going to be a top contender as of right now. What'll be interesting to see, well, I'll get to that in a minute. So I'm not going to go through everything here because I'm still not 100% familiar with a lot of these abilities. I'm not a Necron player, and I don't want to pull away, like I said before, from the article or your fun. A couple of the winners that I will say is the Nightbringer is going to be absolutely bonkers crazy to take. And depending on the price, the Silent King, which for some reason, I think it looks like the data file is corrupted, so I cannot put the screenshot up. But he is going to be probably, depending on the points, probably a must take. So just consider that whenever you see it. I really don't know, but it'll come. A lot of this is going to come down to what type of army do you want to play? Does the Silent King fit into it? What's your overall theme? What's your overall idea for competitive play? But I think he is definitely a top contender to take. depending on your build. Now, he's probably going to be very costly, and he's got a full page of rules. I mean, his data sheet is massive, guys. I think there is 12 abilities on there, maybe a little bit more before we even got to keywords. Just absolutely crazy. He's going to be awesome. So all the dynastic codes, you guys will be able to read through those. Once again, I don't want to pull away from the article, but there are stratagems and stratagems for the Space Marines. A lot of them have been adjusted or removed, especially Space Marine ones. You've lost, I want to say, 9 stratagems, I think. And some of those stratagems got rolled into abilities, or they became a new unit, like the heavy or the veteran intercessors are now a unit and not a stratagem. So anyways, the Satan, I think, are going to be the top dogs. I think you're going to be seeing a Satan. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see a Nightbringer in every single army. You will be running, I think this is going to be similar to Genestealer cults, where you're going to be running a lot of characters, guys. This looks to be a very character-driven army from the point of view of all the aura abilities, especially be able to get some resurrection protocol boosting, or reanimation protocols, the bonuses to hit and wound or ignore wounds. It's going to be probably a slight character-heavy army. Where Space Marines, you might run 2 to 3 characters. This, I could see you running maybe 4 to 6. And I think that's somewhat similar to Genestealers. I think the actual Genestealers run around 7 characters. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like they run like 6 or 7 characters. I'll have to talk to our resident Genestealer expert, Eric, who also, we're going to be featuring his channel here very soon. But I think Necrons overall are going to be a solid choice. Overall, I would say, oh, what is going on? Get rid of that. Hide. There we go. It looks to me, as of right now, that Marines are balanced. And in fact, I would say, in a lot of respects, they've been nerfed. I hate using that term, but they've been kicked in the junk. They've lost a lot of things that made them absolutely amazing. Some of those really ridiculous lists where people were spamming, like the aggressors or the centurion spam, those are gone, or effectively neutered. And I mean, very effectively neutered. And man, and I don't feel bad. No offense, guys and gals, I don't feel bad. If you were rushing out to buy all these aggressors or centurions or whatever it was, whatever the new flavor of the month tournament list there was, and you were spamming things like the salamander aggressor spam and smash captains and such, and you bought all these things, and now they're not going to be as effective, where you're probably not going to need 12 or 15 or however many of those aggressors you bought. That's on you, man. That's on you. If you did not take the time to consider that was going to happen, then that's really that's on you, guys. If you didn't think that there was going to be some nerfing going on eventually. So those of you who rushed out, I mean, it sucks that you wasted money, maybe, but consider it a lesson. All right, so on a positive note, tonight, now that everything is working, my internet is up and going. We had a problem with my router last week, and so I wasn't able to do the Havoc Maker Studio paint and chat show at night. Now we've got it up and running. So tonight I will be doing the Ghost Rider from Atomic Mass Games from the Marvel Crisis Protocol. And I'm thinking, don't quote me, but I'm thinking I'm going to be doing it in the original color scheme, the kind of that dark blue and black, the original Johnny Blaze, original Ghost Rider from the late 70s and 80s style. You guys will see, I'll have some images up tonight, but here's the link or not the link, but well, I guess it is in the link, you just can't click it, for Havoc Maker Studio. So make sure you head on over. I'll be painting those at 7:30 p.m. Central Time tonight. That's all I'm going to be concentrating on. I've been studying on painting, how to paint flames, and working on some of these dark blues. I'm still not 100% sold on it because his costume is the 90s version of his costume, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to pull off the blues, but I think I might be able to do it. I'm looking at a lot of images. I'm looking at the model. I think I can do it. I'm just not sure 100%. I don't want to just give in and go the route that they've got on the box, but we'll see. So tonight, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, I will be painting Ghost Rider. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, so my name is John. This is FNP Wargamers, FNP Morning Show. I will see you either tonight, 7:30 p.m. Central Time at Havoc Maker Studio, or I'll see you 10 a.m. on Wednesday right here on the FNP Morning Show. You guys have yourself a wonderful Monday. Please consider that today is Monday and that it's going to be a great day for you, not it's Monday. Look at it as like, man, it's a great start for a brand new week. Fall's here. People are getting those pumpkin spice lattes, and it's Han Solo women boot wearing weather. This is a great time of the year, and because it's cool now, especially here in Texas. But just have a great day, guys. Have a great week. Hand sanitizer, wash your hands, please wear your mask, social distance as best as possible. Let's get through this, whether you believe in it or not. Just be courteous to your fellow human beings. I'll see you guys tonight. Have a wonderful day.